This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm Roby Brock. We are now joined by Randy Zook. He is the CEO of the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce and the Associated Industries of Arkansas. I'm like the only guy in the world that gets all those right.
You are,
Randy. I am. Thank you.
But we appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Good session for the Chamber?
You know, really good session. In fact, I told the governor in an aside the other day that this was probably the most positive session in 20 or 30 years in terms of business impact. So I give them a good A-.
I got a lot of questions to ask you on a couple of topics, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and pick one off the top. What was the biggest thing that you think was done that was the most impactful in a positive way for business from your perspective?
Well, the biggest is contingent upon passing on the 18 general election ballot, and that would be the tort reform measure. So that would definitely be the biggest impact long term, assuming we're successful. Now, it's going to be a hotly contested issue.
Can I go ahead and frame the message up for you right
sure,
now?
Go ahead.
It's going to be, do you want runaway juries or do you want to put a price tag on grandma in the nursing home? I mean,
well,
is it going to be that simple?
We'll hope to shape that conversation. So.
All right. So tort reform is one of the big ones. I think another significant development in this legislative session was that the Blue Ribbon Tax Panel, I think, is going to have the potential to be very transformative in the years to come. And if they kind of model themselves off of the health care reform task force that was out there, which I thought built a lot of consensus and diffused a lot of issues. Do you think that could happen on tax reform? I
think it could, because you know there's this tension in the conversation about what do you do about income taxes or sales taxes or property taxes, or there are all kinds of options out there. So we're going to have to sort through that, and I think we'll end up in a better place than we're in today in terms of the effect on businesses. It's a fairly complex issue, but one that we're making nibbles.
Complex, Randy. It's extremely complex.
Well, it can be if you don't
barely
see things.
My own tax return.
If you don't see things clearly, as some of us do, so it can be complicated.
Medical marijuana was a big issue going into this legislative session. Voters approved it. I think 17 laws were passed that will in some way deal with medical marijuana. Were you satisfied from the business community's perspective that your concerns were addressed by the legislation?
Well, if you define that as passing the bill that we shaped, yes, we were successful with that bill, so we were pleased about that. It works on things like the definition of employers and the relationship between employers and employees, what can be done on site in a workplace, that sort of thing. So those issues we were successful with, and we were pleased about that.
What still has to be done by the commission? That'll be a little more regulatory in its framework?
That's going to get down in the weeds on how to
actually operate.
Down in the weeds or in the weed. That's pretty good.
All right, let's talk about some things that didn't get done, and one of those was highways. Senator Jim Hendren, the Senate Majority Leader, told me in an interview just this past weekend that tax reform is contingent for highway funding in his mind. We got to get the tax structure right in Arkansas in order to frame up and free up the money that we need to do a better job of long-term highway funding. Do you agree with that?
I think that's a very fair and accurate assessment, and it will start with some resolution of the internet sales tax thing. That's got to get done. It's just too much money sitting on the ground to walk past it. It's a clear-cut issue. It's hard. It's a tough vote to take because a lot of people do perceive it as a new tax, when in fact it's not. It's simply enforcing an existing tax.
Yeah, and
so that's got to get done.
And for people that don't know, it was called the Amazon tax in this session. Although Amazon has agreed to go ahead and pay the sales and use taxes that are collected from online purchases. A local brick and mortar store still has to charge it, an online retailer doesn't.
Right.
How do you overcome that perception? Do you think it's the task force has got to build a consensus to do that and get the legislative buy-in, even though constituents are going to push back?
I think there's going to have to be a sales effort made on it, a widespread one, a general public effort to educate people that, look, you have this tax and you have this obligation today, you're simply not paying it. So which would you prefer, to have it collected by the person you buy from or have to go through the current hassle of filling out another form? We haven't done a good job of making sure people understand that they have that obligation today. They're just simply ignoring it.
When you take away a tax break, Randy, it's called a tax hike. So even though it may not be on the books.
I understand. Look, it's a heavy lift for everybody involved, but at the end of the day, in fairness to our Main Street retailers, our brick and mortar retailers, we've just got to give them a level playing field. That 6 to 9% advantage that failure to collect gives an out-of-state vendor is just not reasonable.
What else in the interim does the chamber work on? What else are you concerned that didn't get done in the session, or you're just going to have to wait in advance, or does all your focus go to tort reform at this point in time?
Well, no, not all of it. We've still got some issues to resolve around workers' comp. In the special session last year, we eliminated the trust fund on death and total and permanent disability claims. So we've still got to resolve that issue. We've got a couple of more years to get that done. The bill passed last year, gave us until I think the 19 session, something like that, before we have to get something in place rather than the trust fund. And I think we'll come to some sort of settlement there.
No job shortage for you, always something to be done.
There's always something to work on, for sure.
All right, Randy Zook with the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce, Associated Industries of Arkansas. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you, Robbie. Good to see you always.
I haven't seen you face to face in a while. Good to catch up.
You bet.
We are back with more right after this word from our sponsors, including a new deal we've got going on. It's called the Question of the Week. I'm going to tell you all about it right after this.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us. Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
Well, today we begin what I hope will be a continuing series, our question of the week. Here's how it works. On Tuesday, I give you the question. On Wednesday, I'm going to give you an extra hint. And on Thursday, winner, winner, chicken dinner. We'll announce who won. So let's get to our question of the week. Here it is. Arkansas currently operates under a state constitution passed in 1874. It has, of course, been amended numerous times. In 1874, when the current constitution was passed by a vote of the people, the question is, what was the percentage of passage in that vote? If you think you know or can find out the answer to that question, you'll be the winner of a Starbucks gift card worth $25 and a Talk Business and Politics mug. So send me your answers by email at roby@talkbusiness.net. You can direct an answer to me through Twitter at my handle @RobyBrock, or through our Facebook page where you'll find the question of the week post. Look for the Talk Business and Politics statewide Facebook page and leave your answer in the comments. Now tomorrow we will drop another hint, and on Thursday we'll reveal our winner. Thank you for tuning in today. That's all for our show. We'll see you next time.